Hello and welcome to round 9 of the Rony Tuesday Fun Race Extra Large Championship in Live for Speed, supported by World Class Lions. Tonight we're at Kyoto Ring at a custom configuration, the Banked Crossing, with the epic Prototype 2 mod. I'm joined in the commentary box tonight by Eoin, Harmon and Miika Särkkinen as usual for this championship. Gents, how's it going? Eoin first.
Yeah, I'm keeping well, thanks very much. The old rain outside, definitely quite heavy, so I know it's early September at this stage.
Good stuff. Miika, how's it going?
Hello. Good evening. It's a fine evening here in Finland as well, and we're getting some good action tonight. We got a lot of cars in the server tonight.
Yeah, we've got over 20 qualifiers, 29 qualifiers to be exact, and we'll run through those in just a moment's time. While we take a look at the track we're at, the Banked Crossing configuration at Kyoto, it's an absolute beast. 10.7 kilometers, 6.6 miles with 32 turns, although let's be honest, there's probably a few more in there we've missed, but it's going to be 26 laps of racing tonight around this track, which is a lot of kilometers. And yeah, the drivers are going to be, well, they're going to have their work cut out for them this afternoon, Owen.
Very much so. This track will deliver the combination that we always expect from Kyoto, but the element of the crossover point is definitely something that everyone has to be very aware of, especially in this class of car. It is quite big, and if you get close to the opponents around there, you'll be given a big surprise.
Indeed. Kyoto Grand Prix Long turns into Kyoto National Reversed at turn 11 at the Spoon Corner. You cross over a bit of a bridge and into the infield of Kyoto National before rejoining the oval and heading round towards the Booty Chicane and the end of the lap. So that is the track. The car is a familiar one in the mod category in S3. The 4.2 litre V8 rear-wheel drive 1-ton Prototype 2 by Ken Block and collaborators there. A car that we love here on the channel, and can't wait to see it with all those drivers tonight. And before we get on to the championship standings and qualifying, let's look at the championship schedule. Tonight is 4 rounds to go for the end of the year. We have been treated to some epic races this season, and we're hoping to bring the final third of the year, make that the same. So let's see how we go. But tonight, yeah, it's going to be a good one. Let's see what we've got in store. The Drivers' Championship standing is as follows. It's Gabba Gyur at the helm for the Siders team. He's driving under the Yes livery tonight, the S Motorsport livery. But then we've got Zafralis Stamuli, Rick Cardle, Johnny SVK, Rony Grompush, Stephen Martin, Dodislav, Michael Malek, Trespasser, and Twin Cam, your top 10 in the Drivers' Championship standing. And don't forget that this is where the prize money is for this series. The top drivers will walk away with that prize money at the end of the year. It's currently looking good for Gabba, Miika.
Yeah, it is. He's been doing solid this whole year, and again, he's there up there on the positions for tonight. So interesting to see if he can maybe even secure the championship in the upcoming rounds.
Indeed, 67 drivers have scored a point so far this championship season, and we'll see if there are some movers and shakers after tonight's action. And speaking of tonight's action, it's time to get a look at those qualifying standings and see who has stolen the pole position. It's Master Race Cars Sufor, a 2-minute 56.8 ahead of Vitatus Lagutskas and Gabba and Trespasser for Yes Motorsports. 3 of those guys at the top there, with Samet, Cried, TJ, Johnny SVK, Carlos Motiuitis and Twin Cam, your top 10. Yeah, let's see how many qualifiers we did end up with at the end. It was 29 overall, with Ruby there getting in and not a respectable, a representative that time for him. As we get the race underway, Owen, take us away for the grid.
Yeah, let's bring it on. A very high quality top 5 and even top 10, of course. So let's see how everyone gets on. Yeah, big competition. Wherever you look, a beautiful array of LMP2s here. So let's figure out who can get the run down to turn 1. Here come the lights. And waiting. There's the release. Sufor. Right launch has to be second before, a little bit bogged down. And Lagutskas has actually withdrawn from the race, so that does change things. Ben Samet, though, on the left-hand side, though, has found the gap, trying to fill it in. But now it's going to be 2.5 wide into turn 1, guys. No understeer for Trespasser.
Yeah, someone threw the nails there, and that's going to cause all sorts of carnage in the background.
Yeah, that was Samet going to the best, and he was 90 degrees angle on the track, just sideways. Luckily, no bigger contacts after that. But so far, he keeps his lead. A very good start from him. Gabor, despite bogging down on the start, it's Manchester. He's flipped out.
Yeah, not a good start there from Manchester at all, as the cars weave their way over the sector 1 line. And it's Sufor who leads ahead of Gabba and Trespasser. TJ's made his way up to P4, and it's
trouble again here, Lorenzo and the Rayman collide just on the run to turn 9 there. It's very big.
That's another victim moment also.
That's a disaster.
Wow, this is unexpected.
Yeah, that's a lot of action for the first lap as Sufor cuts into the infield over the banked crossing. This is the first time we've seen it on the broadcast, and the drivers off the ramp and into the infield. That's as easy as that. But already a 2-second lead of our top 2 got over Trespasser now, but it's close from P4.
Yeah, by all means here, TJ and Sobis going head to head for what is now 4th position. So those are 2 guys that have benefited from the carnage to begin lap 1. You can see there, Sobis' stream is live on his channel as well. He's a member of the Sim broadcast.
Huge
that's
miscalculation.
I can't even complete my shout out because he's crashed it.
That was crazy. Straight into the back of TJ, completely spooked on the brakes by the looks of it, and they're both off in the gravel trap at the Parabolica. That's unbelievable for lap 1 from 2 extremely experienced drivers. And well, what a shake-up. That's promoted Johnny SVK and Rick Cardle for the Siders team up into the upper echelons of this race. Blimey neck.
Good strategy is a big factor today, everyone. If car with the fuel tank won't be able to get you to the end in 1 go, it might even need 2 goes if you're very aggressive on strategy. So the fact that so many crashes have taken place, it means that some of these guys that may have gone very careful for their strategy are doing even better than expected.
Yeah, we've got Twin Cam going up the inside on Cried into the chicane, and that's a great goal, but he's missed it up. Wow, what are we doing tonight, folks? Anyone on the camera is in trouble.
People's champion, man in form in the last month, unfortunately caught him with his first real mistake in quite some time.
Well, that was unexpected.
Fragmaster's Hosep, he's in the gravel. It's even worse for Fragmaster's Hosep. He has to get out of that gravel trap. He's now pretty much last on circuit. That's a long way back. He's going to be overtaken there by Michael Malik.
Ooh,
He's a
very close
LMP2 specialist.
Into turn one. MRC's Matty up the inside of Jari Katila there as they make their way through the first chicane. That's the cleanest overtake we've seen. However, the rear end of Jari's LMP2 is not looking pretty. That's been on its roof. That.
Yeah, he's share of it already. There's a three-way battle going on. That's Jari Katila in the yellow one, staying ahead of models. It's Family and Matty behind, I believe.
Thamuli in the mix there, as we've got Sobis recovering and through on Rony into sector one and catching up to Crash, who's he got a new car? No, he doesn't. That car is still looking quite pancaked.
That corner, you have to make up your mind, Sob. Is he going to go for it? Yes, he is, but he's got to be careful of the understeer crash if anything was put off his usual approach there. Rony takes advantage. Rayman's having a look on the brand new overpass. So yeah, Coral Crash is looking good again for a while, but I think this section of the track is really going to punish the cosmetic damage. Like, he has plenty of robustness in that suspension. It's not a problem there, but definitely that cosmetic damage will affect his driving.
Yeah, Thamuli here is looking to make a move on Yakatila actually.
Oh, twin cams off, twin cams out of the race. Spectated to avoid any further problems. It's just in the grass.
That's a big loss because Twin Cam's had a run of results in the last couple of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race races, the sister championship, as Thamuli makes the move into the double left. Up the inside on Jari Katila. They're going to be side by side. Jari with the inside for the next double right-hander. Can Thamuli hold it around the outside before the oval? Yes, he can. He's got a gap as well.
Yeah, that's a good move. Katila really put up a fight and tried to defend. Ultimately, Thamuli was able to go around the outside, but now that's Victor just behind Katila as well, taking the slipstream, going on the outside, and should be just past Katila right away. Before this fast left to right chicane that is coming up, it's always very, very scary, and it can also make some damage to your suspension if you're not careful, so something to keep an eye on.
Over start finish comes Sufor to begin lap number 3. Takes the fast lap of the race. Second place, it's Gabber at the moment with Trespasser in P3. I'm hearing that Rony's been off. Oh yes, he's been off in a big way. Front left damage.
Kid takes over 18th from him, so Rony down to P19. Definitely a little bit of an impact on the body there. He has gotten away with the absolute worst of it. If he takes his usual strategy, which is to pit very early, it's not really a thing in this car. I don't think we would want to stop twice, to be honest. So Rony's backup plan, not really helpful to me.
Yeah, since the drivers have to pit for fuel, we reckon the drivers are going to need around 175% fuel, so 2 tanks. The drivers won't want to be coming in the pit lane twice. They'll want to serve their mandatory 10-second pit stop as a refueling stop, so likely around the halfway mark we'll start to see all the cars come in, and the cars that are damaged, Owen, they're going to wait until that halfway mark, surely, if they can.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no need to pit for damage now. Doesn't really help anyone in this case. But if you can, just keep your slightly ailed car going until your target pit stop lap, then yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Get a bit of damage repair done if you have to. But yeah, Ruby for Born to Race also out of contention. That means Rayman is by his lonesome now. So Born to Race having the time of their lives recently. Oh, Rayman is going to crash at that corner. Maybe it's a Born to Race triple one. Oh, it's not looking good.
Well, he's still hanging on.
Mangled car.
Yeah, left front though, left front suspension.
Yeah, that needs to come in the pit lane. So we've got Steve Martin here lining up Magic just onto the infield. Can he get through before the chicane? Don't think so. They're being caught here by Carlos Motuitis, Sobis there, who is recovering, of course, after that Strange incident into this very corner with TJ on the opening lap. Blushes all round in that one. TJ was really upset. Onto the oval, we've got Rick Cardle for the Siders team closing in on Johnny SVK. But yeah, not close enough necessarily for a move. And here is Sobis closing up to the back of Magic. Should be fairly straightforward with Steve there as well.
Yeah, in fairness to Sobis, he's looking a lot better this lap. Go ahead, Miika.
He's getting a good slipstream, I was about to say, and he's made it well past Magic. Magic, of course, is under threat for Stephen Martin if he keeps losing this much. But that's Sobis very well through there. And on the last chicane they go.
I'd like to make an observation about this onboard that we have from Sobis. I thought he'd kicked the habit of follow cam. I thought that was kicked. I thought he was using the onboard. It's very, very unusual to see.
Yeah, I know
in this day and age, somebody using follow cam in the for speed.
PS2,
That's
your eyes definitely follow cam for life, but some ways this time.
I believe Rony himself still does the same. He throws on follow cam, but that's very unusual
Very
to this day.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have an onboard for the movie today. We'll be using cockpit view, I guess, as Sobis goes through there on Jari Katila.
Oh, just ahead of these guys, it's Victor Lowe. He's in the
Speaking of
battle.
Rony,
Oh, really?
follow cam has let him down today. He's in the wall.
Still sector 1 though. Helpful to his cause. Yeah, that's going to be a long way back for Rony. He's left by himself in 19th again.
Samet is getting past here on Rick Cardle. So Samet's come out of nowhere to close in on Rick Cardle while he was chasing down Johnny SVK, and he's through. So quite an unusual turn of events there. But he's already closing down on his teammate here. Got some pace behind him.
And he does. This is a great drive so far from Samet. His teammate in front of him. They can probably just work together on the oval section. Don't want Rick Cardle, yeah, maybe a little excited there for Samet, but on the oval section you definitely want a teammate to be with you all the way, and you can defend the threat from a Sidus car in Rick Cardle. Definitely a bid for the championship. It's slightly improved, of course, with Gabor taking time off last month, I believe it was. So there is a little bit of a chance, but at the moment, he has to start winning more often than not.
Yeah, we follow them here around the oval section. Samet is he's got a slipstream, but he's not going to be close enough before the chicane closes in on the brakes. He'll be in dirty air, and there you go. Through the bales. Too close through the chicane. That's the effect of the dirty air, and Samet goes from 0 to 0.
That allows Ricardo to catch up to Johnny SVK instantly. And he's very close, but really not close enough to get anything done during the start finish straight. But here we have a battle between Stephen Martin and that is Magic. And that's Stephen Martin going ahead. Not sure if he made the overtake there or just defending.
Yeah, he did on the end of the oval just before the chicane. He got through. And Rick Cardle there will have seen Samet come out of nowhere, overtake him, get too close to the back of Johnny SVK, and then smash through the bales of the chicane. Wow. That's a shame, really, because Samet came out of nowhere with a heck of a lot of pace.
Well, we have to see if Samet can keep up his pace. If he can, he shouldn't have any trouble rejoining the fight in a couple of time.
There'll be a heck of a lot of front end damage on that machine, so I wouldn't be surprised if that doesn't in fact happen. But if it does, then that really is impressive. As we pick up with Sufor, who is leading the race by almost 4 seconds now over Gabba. So he's found some pace in his prototype 2. Of course, we don't yet know what the fuel strategy of these guys will be, but if we were betting men, we would say they would have loaded up with fuel at the beginning of this, and they will drain it before refilling. But it's possible that Sufor's gone the other way and has put the smaller amount of fuel in to begin with, and will top up at the stop. We'll have to wait and see. It's a strategy one, this.
I heard some rumors that there might be some two-stoppers, but to my mind it doesn't really make too much sense, since you have to sort that 110 seconds and you can just refill the car at that time, so it should make more sense. But of course, there's a fight going on between Steve Martin and Cadillac in the yellow car, and Stephen Martin taking another place there. That's a good driving, climbing his way up, way up there.
This is the infield section, turn 14. Now we're heading up to the other parabolic, you can call it turn 18. So in this car, you can just get down to third gear and wait for your chance, 150 kilometers an hour, and then you're free to go again. So yeah, supreme downforce on our prototype today. It's a prime example of putting it to good use. And here's Gabor looking to hope that if Sufor is fueled lighter, that he has the pace on board now, that tyres should be peaking pretty soon, that he is able to pull clear of Trespasser and start to reel Sufor in just a little bit before he realises what's needing to be done on strategy.
I want to turn your attention to just the pace of the top two at the moment. I mean, Gabba on his day would be out at the front, but Sufor is absolutely smashing it here. 5 laps in, and he's opened up a gap of 4 seconds over the championship leader, and he's not showing any signs at the moment of slowing down. One of Sufor's sort of main issues over the last few races has been the consistency, so hopefully he can keep it up today.
Speaking of Sufor's pace, his fastest lap is only 2 or 3 seconds slower than the qualifying lap, so it's very, very impressive that he can do this, especially on this early stage of the race. So hats off so far for Sufor. Let's hope he can keep it up until the end.
Indeed, as we've got Victolo here being chased down by Gabri through the trees. We should see an overtake into turn 4, potentially, if Gabri's feeling up for it. He's going to the inside tentatively. Oh, there was contact there, I think. But he is through.
Minimal, but he has to be careful. The gravel is going to eat these cars up if you get too close to it. This is allowing Stephen Martin now to have a peek at what's going on. Good lap time from Stephen last time at 3 minute 2, I think it was. So yeah, he's definitely starting to pick up significant pace. Most of the top 10 drivers will be hovering around the 3 minute 2 mark or 3 minute 3. So to get 3 minute 2 himself there, really good. At the minute, yeah, the spread now is a bit favourable to Gabri now, so he can start to behave as normal for his ideal approach to the lap. He doesn't have to battle, at least for this part of the track.
White green machine of Cried in P7. Looking back at Matty for the Master Race Car team. Very well turned out tonight, the Master Race Car team. I am a fan of their livery. But at the moment, Cried will not care. He will be defending this for all he can, as Mad Jester has got a stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So he's gone in to do his stop, but he's missed his pit box, and he's got a lot of damage on that machine. He's probably going to repair as well.
Yeah, front left was terrible.
There you go. All repair, all tyres, and no fuel going into Mad Jester's machine. So he's going to be in the pit lane again, once more at least. Possibly twice. We're not far enough through the race yet. He might need to do another stop. We pick up with Victolo and oh goodness, we've had a big crash with Cried and Matty on the oval. Sorry to cut away. Cried and Matty were basically stationary. Matty ran into the back of Clyde and spun them both round. So Sammet's back through.
Well, Sammet was able to keep up his pace, and he's almost caught up to Rickard already. Here we have Tehemoli against Sobis. Sobis has done a very good job climbing back up after his early crash. That is P8 he's looking for at the moment.
Lots and lots of action tonight, and quite a lot of attrition. We're down to 20 cars after just 6 laps of racing, so the P2 proving to be quite a handful. Drivers coming together more often than we would normally have seen, and a lot of them are looking quite worse for wear. We've got Motiotis here, Sobis catching up to the back of Thamuli. As Victolo hits the pit lane, yeah, not surprised by that after what happened to him.
Yeah, I'm glad he's changing tyres. That makes no sense for Victolo to make sure they won't go pop when he actually needs to get a lap time target or lap target for strategy. So you just get rid of the tyres and start again.
Watching Motiotis here, very, very close now behind Thamuli. Goes to the inside at Spoon on this surface they won't be used to, of course. This is about 10 metres in the air, this road. Normally, obviously, they'd be on the tarmac, so a good overtake there. Unfamiliar territory. As Rony has made his way through on Crash as well, up over the Sector 1 timing line. Yeah, Matty has retired from the race. He's out completely after that incident. Unseen on the camera, but it was a fairly dramatic incident on the oval that caused Pride to spin out and lose a whole bunch of time. And he's picked up some damage on his car as well as a result.
I think we're in a... Oh, sorry, P. Yeah, we're in a little bit of a lull period here, but that's not to say the problem with it. Like, it's probably good to have a bit of calm and let drivers get their laps under their belts. So yeah, no real head-to-head battles just yet.
Except for P5,
no, there's one.
maybe?
Yeah, there's one. Yeah, there's one.
Yeah. So let us go to Ricardo. Janice Liike has been able to stay ahead of Ricardo, which is quite remarkable. Knowing Cardle is a fast and very experienced driver. Usually one to make some overtakes. But here he is stuck behind the MRC driver and just getting pushed by another. Sammet has a very good slipstream onto the main straight, and he should be there very well past before the first corner. There he goes. Will Cardle make any movement back? Oh, and he's hit with the dirt air again. You can see Cardle dropping so far back again. He went understeering so much in the turn 1.
Oh, Magic has spun at Boothie and needs to be careful not to be collected by other cars. I don't want to drive all the way over the racing line like that, my friend, regardless of whether you know there's traffic or not. But there we go. Sobis pits, fuel only. So he's happy with his car in the state that it's in. Cosmetic damage only, it must be. Looks pretty messed up on our end, but he's clearly okay with it. Wheelbase is a bit shorter on the right hand side, according to Chris, but he is out and circulating once again after just 7 laps, so potentially low fuel at the start for him. And I want to say the same for Sammet. There's no way he got past Ricardo that easily. I'm going to make an early call that Sammet has got no fuel left in that car.
Let's have a reminder about 4 laps if he needs to pit, and that'll be very light fuel load, probably the bare minimum he needs to get to the end, or else he's 2 stopping. There'll be no way he could realistically get a light fuel load done, make it to the very end without a lot of lift and coast.
Yeah, the only way that this two-stopper would make sense is that because if you go one stop, you will have to drive a lot of race with a like very filled-up car. So doing two stops allows you to drive lighter car for so much longer, and that way benefit a lot of your pace, but hard to do much often to come in their box, which is the better way.
The car ahead of the car I'm looking at is Manchester, who's about to be lapped by Johnny SVK. We're riding on board with Samet. Oh, what?
Whoa!
Tire warming at that speed, or losing control at that speed, or defending? I don't know what that was from Johnny. But whatever it wasn't the fastest way to do the oval. So we ride on board with Samet. There goes Manchester, letting Rony through. And we've got Trespasser in the pits, so a number of drivers choosing this opportunity to pit, and Samet, interestingly, does not go in the pit lane, so he's got more fuel than Trespasser, who is in the pit lane. Lights blinking as the limiter is on.
Samet does go for overtake on Johnny SVK, and he's managed, he was close enough after the exit of last corner, and the slipstream made its job, and Samet is through up to the P3 for now.
Trespasser's put less fuel in the car than Sobis, so read into that what you want, as we've got Michael Malik through as the camera picks him up on Jari Katila at the final complex of corners. Just missed that one. And yeah, the gap at the front is up to a staggering 6 seconds. Obviously, we're yet to know what the strategy difference is between the Master Race Car driver and Gabba. But it does look like Ricardo will need to do some lapping of his own here. He needs to get past Manchester as they head into the infield. There we go, Manchester gets out of the way. Ricardo's through and can set his sights back on Johnny SVK.
Yeah, definitely relief there for Rick to have his turn, to have blue flags helping out. Manchester, thankfully, as well, didn't touch the grass, because if he did and he went full throttle, then you would be going sideways. So Rick has his chance now. He won't be in the dirty air just yet. Around this portion of the track, you don't want to be too close either. All the hard braking and the acute corners to take before then the oval, or before the oval, and that's where you definitely want to be a slipstream. Well, it was close, in fairness to Rick, really close to the hay bales, but that risk reward has come to his own here, and Johnny has to defend very aggressively now, otherwise he will be overtaken on the start finish straight. So let's see how Rick lines up this potential pass into turn 1.
He should have it he should be close enough. As you can see, the overspeed is very significant for Ricardo, and he's there past Johnny SVK before the braking zone for the turn 1. He's made it through, and Johnny tries to follow. It's so hard to do with all the dirt here.
Yeah, it's a cracker move. It's been developing for a while, that one. But just about able to get close enough at the end of the home straight and through and up to P4, which will update, of course, at the timing line. This being a custom track, we'll get the update around the next corner. But yeah, towards the front goes Ricciardo as Sufor sets the fastest lap, a new fastest lap, a 2:57.51. He is storming away at the front. Magic has had a spin at Boothie again. Catch him here, having sped back up, but just more time lost for him. And he's going to be lapped if he's not careful. Another kick of oversteer into the final corner.
Magic's tyres are just getting a little bit cold, I will say that. He has to be careful. If he lets them cool down anymore, he will have to pit.
Riding aboard with Michael Malak, who currently occupies P11, being chased down by Spobis, who's already pitted, remember? This is a slightly different strategy between these two drivers. You'd think that Sobis would have a lot more fuel on than Michael, so this might be slightly more tricky than he would have wanted. Michael takes a very wide line around Spoon. And Sobis thought about going for the move at the apex, and that was almost disaster.
That's what I mean, the overpass is something different on this layout. If you get big cars like these very close, then yeah, there is a big threat of danger. So at least both drivers didn't hit each other any harder than that. Yeah, so I was probably relieved most of all that it didn't end up being a big collision. So it's just a small tap, and Michael was able to carry on. For another fastest lap there into the 2:57.17, and Gabor reacted with an even better one. So this could be a turning point in the race, as Victolo actually says enough's enough. He has to retire the car. So maybe this is where Gabor has a small pace advantage before the pit stops. We'll keep an eye on that as the next lap goes by.
Yeah, it's not by a huge amount, but Gabba has gone faster for the first time in quite a while. Potentially the tyres getting to their super grippy phase, as they do in Need for Speed, towards the end of a stint, which just allows Gabba to extract more from the car on that lap than Sufor. As Sobis now has dropped back a little bit from Michael.
Yeah, he had a bit of oversteer there. It looked like he was a lot spin, but was able to keep it under control.
So we're approaching the halfway stage, a few laps to go, but it's Sufor in the lead with Gabba in P2, Samet in a distant P3. The gap between the lead and P3 is now 31 seconds. That is a dramatic gap. Gabba and Sufor are in a league of their own today. And Samet, you can just imagine what could have been if he hadn't had that incident. He's on crazy pace at the moment, and still hasn't come into the pits, despite me being so confident in myself that he had low fuel.
Yeah, apparently he just has a very good pace and he knows his way around this corner track.
I suppose if he is light on fuel, then this was the target time to come into the pits, but now it looks like he's been absolutely electric since his unfortunate contact that did waste a lot of his time, but now he's back on his best form, and yeah, it's the best of the rest here for Samet. Ricciardo not able to really get a look in at the moment, so he's still worried about Johnny SVK behind in the battle for fourth.
Back out onto the oval for Samet, and he's got nobody around him, so he can really just enjoy the thrill of driving the prototype 2. It is one of the most popular mods in Need for Speed, and yeah, he must be enjoying it in there. As we switch to a battle between Sobis and Michael, Sobis has got up to him, Owen.
Yeah, Sobis tried the dive bomb into the very difficult turn 12. It wasn't a P, unfortunately, and Michael holds on for now. Sobis is really figuring out what he can and can't do, but Michael goes wide, and that's going to really hamstringing for a while because Sabas will have the inside line, he'll have cleaner tyres, and he should be able to put in the block. Yeah, he might actually make Michael go even wider than planned, but yeah, that's the moment Sabas required. But watch out for the oval section because that's where you can get your slipstream.
Yeah, great battle between these two. Michael's going to come straight back at him though, I can see happening.
Here's the moment now. Goes for the aggressive straight away before the banking. Going to go right on the apron. They have such incredible downforce on the car. It should be a pretty problematic moment there with the banking. But now Sabas on his way back through on the counter, very close to the hay bales again. But that's Sabas completing the pass, and Michael gives him full credit for that.
Same again, probably. Here we go, Rony on Kid. He backs out of it. Kid electing to drive this one. Fellow commentator, he's at some broadcasts. Zdenek Zagash there in P14 at the moment, doing a sterling job in his prototype 2. Although,
but he goes wide.
that wasn't fantastic, was it? Oh dear. Amazing. Michael Malik pits. Bit of change of subject there. Fuel only for Michael, so happy with his tyres and the state of his car at this point.
13 seconds refuel, that's pretty good. Maybe 12 seconds is the optimal if you're going deeper into the race. So yeah, Michael will take that, but yeah, Sabas was the victor in the head-to-head battle there, and they'll hopefully meet again before the race comes to an end. But for now, Michael just has to focus on his own race and get those tyres, the old tyres, back into their working window.
Yeah, there is the gap between the leaders. It's come down to 5.7 seconds. It doesn't sound like it's come down by much, but come down it has. That could be, as you said before, the tipping point. The strategy clearly coming into play here, as we are now right on top of that halfway stage. Is this the shift for Gabba? You can just see the commitment through the chicane from him is unbelievable. He's really digging deep to try and close down on 2-4 here. And into the pits comes Sufor.
Yeah,
Bang
this is
on
big now,
halfway.
watch out. Whoa, he's using all the graphs. That would be really, really painful to cost himself the win if he made a mistake trying to slow down for the pits. The windy section on the clockwise version, I'd say it is. So, big moment there with Gabor on the fastest lap. So, fuel only stop for Sufor. And he now realises Gabor has the chance to claim back a lot of that time. And there I was talking about 12.5 seconds for a refuel there.
Yeah,
Nearly
he
halfway
nailed it.
there.
Nailed it, Owen. But yeah, Gabba is at a turning point here. He is setting fastest lap after fastest lap. He's almost 0.4 of a second faster than Sufor, and that was an amazing lap for him there. He has now led a lap, registers a lead lap in the race. As we've got another 2 cars in the pits, it's 2 master race cars, Samet and JSK.
I was just looking at Samet entering the pit lane. He was very hesitant, very careful just not to break the speed limit, and he was even deliberating about changing his tyres, but it's too late for that now. He's just refueled and he's on his way. Cried has overtaken him for 6th position, so down a spot for Samet since the likes of Trespasser and Tamuli got by. So in reality it is -3, but Cried made it another overtake on the overcut. So Samet hopefully has everything under control and can deliver on this promising pace.
Well, here's another thing. We're at an interesting point in the race now where we want to know how long Gabba is going to stay out for. How long can he stay out for? He should theoretically be able to stay out for another couple of laps if he wanted to, which would potentially explain the gap that we see between the top 2. If Gabba started with more fuel, it's going to become apparent now. He's already doing 1 more lap than his rival in this race. He started with a bit of extra.
I'm slightly worried about the guys not changing in tires. Because
Yep, some drivers electing not to.
Yeah, by the calculations, it should be very, very close to not bob the tire if you don't change it. So we might want to keep an eye on those towards the end of the race.
Oh, we will be, don't you worry, Miika. Love a bit of strategy on the tyres and love a bit of strategy on the fuel as well. This race could have everything.
Yeah, the kid makes his stop and he did change tires. Oh, different strategies, as you say.
Yeah, back out with new tyres and fuel. Maybe he's listening into the broadcast at the right moment. But yeah, Gabba is yet to come in. He's coming around the final chicane now. Is he going to dive into the pit lane? No, he isn't. That's 2 laps he's now committed to, more than Sufor. So this is huge. Sufor with a full tank of fuel, Gabba with nothing. And this is where the gap will start to absolutely tumble as Gabba sets the best ever server lap for the track. A 2:56.45, faster even than his qualifying time. And well,
Yeah,
if that isn't a statement to everybody else, I don't know what is.
And that's 2 of those in a row now, so he's really on a flyer. He's closing down this gap to Sufor, and I bet after the car comes to pit, they are gonna get close, and we might have a fight.
Yeah, his car is in the window, running on fumes, showing great pace at the moment. And, well, it looks like he's got more to give. We'll be looking at those times thinking, well, I hope I built enough of a gap, but 6 seconds becomes nothing very quickly when you're driving at this pace, and we'll have to wait and see. How much longer can Gabba stay out on the track before he comes in?
I just need to note,
Which
sorry
other of the
guys,
drivers?
Gabri has disconnected and he's joined the spectators and left the server, so he was in P11, but that's the end of his contest today, so that's a shame, but it does promote the likes of Rony, Yari and Crash up a spot.
Yeah, I didn't give a reason as to why he left, so
No, just suddenly
must be
just
something we didn't see.
spectated. Yeah, just spectated.
It's a shame. Yeah, the drivers now fairly spread out on the track, just waiting for those pit stops to come in. Now, the drivers can't last that much longer on track if they haven't pitted already. There is obviously a limit to how far they can drive without refueling. And that limit will be coming up fairly shortly. But there are a few more laps left. 3 or 4, or 2 or 3 laps left before that point, in fact. I would be surprised if Gabba brimmed it, because the car does become more than a handful, Owen, when you put too much fuel in it.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it will be a very aggressive beast if you're on sort of qualifying fuel or thereabouts when your tyres have been put through a significant distance, about 40 minutes gone in the race at this stage. Yeah, 41 minutes 11 seconds on the heads-up display there for Gabor's steering wheel. So the fact that he's putting so many laps at high speed, they are going to be starting to get to the stage where he'll need to ease off a little bit if he wants to change them in a moment. Otherwise, yeah, he really will have to be mindful if he doesn't and just takes on the fuel like most of the lead pack has. And here he comes, he's in the pits. This is the moment. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, it's a good entry, as we saw with Sufor. He's not gone deep. He's not gone too deep into the race, so this is going to be close, I think, between the two.
Yeah, new tyres,
Sufor just coming into the final corner, and he has gone for the tyres as well. So there is Sufor.
Maybe a little bit of lag on my side just made it look like he was power sliding, but if Gabor can get going now, then Sufor will have a real threat. But yeah, it's a long hold. He's really revving that engine. 23 and 3/10 of a second there, stationary. So Sufor should have his usual lead back, but will be tough with Gabor now primed to go to the end.
Oh, it's an absolutely enormous gap for Gabba. Sufor is long gone, which begs the question: what happened? What was different?
Gabber changed the tires, so his pit stop was more than 10 seconds longer.
Oh, well, I wasn't paying attention, so I've falsified some drama there. My apologies. But yeah, so we're going to have an interesting fight for the lead.
We can still have drama since.
For sure.
as long as I have data, Sufor's tires had worn out even more than Gabor's tires, and Gabor did change tires, and Sufor didn't. So I'm not confident that Sufor can run these tires to the end.
Well, he's confident enough to have stayed out with old rubber on. Sufor is a caliber of driver who you would expect to make the right call on that front, but he might have sealed his fate then. Rickardle moves up into P2. Of course, he has not yet pitted. He is the highest placed driver without a pit stop under his belt. As you can see from the timing tower, just 4 cars left to do their stop in the pit lane, of which Rony is one of them, and he is giving us his stop now. That is a messy looking front end.
Yeah, he's definitely had incidents all around the place. I know the one time he was in the wall there in the gravel trap, facing the opposite side of the track. That was just one he'll regret, but otherwise, yeah, it's been a lot of carnage today. I'm sure Ron will be grateful for a little bit of peace and quiet. And he's just decided to refuel the car in 10.98 seconds, so that's about the best we've seen today. That's actually really good, but he does have to take all the tires to the end.
Yeah, well timed. It will serve him well with the cars around him, but like you said, he's got to make sure that the rubber is thick enough before the checkered flag. We've seen it plenty of times in Rony's Tuesday Fun Race. The length of races here are clever. It always gives us that should we change, should we not change options. And so often we see punctures on the final lap, final corner, that can absolutely change the face of the race as Sufor flies through the Buda chicane. And, well, you said he was putting a lot of energy through the tyres, Miika. It certainly looks that way.
Yeah, he's driving very aggressive, not really taking good care of those tires. So I'm really worried. But of course, this is what makes this interesting. We never know until the ending stage of the race.
Yeah, I'm rubbing my hands in anticipation. So many races have gone that way where P1 and P2 pick slightly different strategies, but ultimately one of them is a genius and the other one ends up with egg on their face. As Rickardle has chosen lap 15 to come into the pit lane, fuel only, going opposite from his teammate Gabba. Gabba's taken tyres, Rickardle has not, and well, he's back on his way, and we'll have to wait and see if that was the right decision for him. Yeah,
Stephen Martin reacts to this as well. He's coming in for his stop. Clip of the hay bale there on the inside, but he's got it slowed down correctly. Which pit's box would he need to pick? Roughly in the lower third there, so no need to go too far in the pit lane and mix up your entry. So yeah, he's just gonna get one set of tires on at the front, so no need to chase the rears, he believes, and then obviously the fuel he needs to get to the end.
That's an unusual decision, to change just one axle. So he's decided to change his tyres based on the percentage of wear rather than just changing all 4. So Gigabrain Steve Martin out there today. And we'll see how that works out. So yeah, the chess pieces are set. We only have one car left to give us a stop. Oh, and speak of the devil.
Oh, there we go.
There he must be running out the field at this point.
The box. He mixed up his spot. He thought he was in the box, but he wasn't, and now he is. So that's wasted about 3 seconds or thereabouts.
Yeah, Yargatilla is the final car to stop, and he's on his way.
Michael Malik. Yeah, Michael Malik's going to come along on start finish. The driver who loves solo endurance racing. He's willing to drive 10 hours solo if he can. This is a relatively easy sprint for him if he's willing to go 10 hours in an endurance. So he has to work hard though, because Yari's out of pit lane. And just on the tires, they're not up to grade just yet, even though he hasn't changed them. So he's made a big mistake, and that nullifies what I was talking about. Michael will overtake Yari.
Well, there you go. That's that done. This is more of a warm-up for Michael, isn't it, rather than a sprint. as
Yeah.
Steve
A bit wide.
goes off the track and Craig goes through. Steve having a good time with that new tyre situation. The single axle change is not working out well for him.
No, but I suppose he did want to save a little bit of time in the pits. You have to take the negative part of the strategy, which is the fact that the tyres are feeling the opposite sort of workload. Some of them are new, some of them are old, so they have to get in sync a bit more. Whereas Pride has a nice balanced set of tyres and he can push them harder and make the overtake fairly routinely.
Yeah, our 18 runners still going strong at this point. Sufor leading the way with old tyres. Gabba some distance behind, but with new rubber on his prototype 2. Means that we have an interesting prospect towards the end of the race. Sufor's got to drive that thing very, very carefully, and Gabba can go all out and try and extract every bit of potential from his car that it will give him, as Samet is back in the pit lane because he didn't pit early. Well, he pitted too early in the race and forced himself into a two-stop strategy. And there we see the tyres only.
But yeah, he wasn't confident with his tyres. He wanted to change them.
All right, so he's not gone for fuel either. So that's an interesting one.
He was asking about the tyres just before his pit, but he didn't end up to change them. And seems like he's regretting that decision already.
Yeah, you have to know exactly what you're going to do if you are following your scripted strategy. I know things can change on a sixpence, but yeah, if you aren't sure and you come to regret it, then yeah, that will really hurt, because he has been a fabulous watch today. He's been really a joy to see him perform, but yeah, just those little things can work against you, so you have to know what your strategy is from the get-go. And unfortunately, I know it is a pickup series, but he has been punished a little bit by that hesitancy. He still has time to try again. Sobis only 10 seconds up the road. It's not impossible.
Yeah, there's certainly going to be some more movers in this race. Almost certainly, we've got all sorts of strategies out there now. Cars with new tyres, cars with old tyres, cars with some old and some new tyres. But Johnny SVK has been somewhat of a solid bet in this race so far. P5 at the moment, got Sobers behind, Rickardle ahead, but doing a pretty good job, I'd say.
Yeah, that he is, but at the moment by himself, Rick too far ahead. Sobis and Samet are too far behind, so this is where you have to just stay focused when you know you've got a result that can be achieved today. But all you have to do is just not fall off the road when no one is there to give you direct competition, except you have to read the lap time comparisons. That's your only way to know if you're still on course or not. So yeah, Johnny, just stay focused and you'll do fine.
Nice overhead shot of him on the oval, coming down towards the Boothie chicane. Can you miss him? There he goes.
Obus was really close to those hay bales again. Definitely when the cars were fueled up to the maximum. We saw a lot of the chaos at the beginning of the race, but yeah, there's still a lot of courageous drivers willing to give the Boothie chicane their full throated commitment, and it hasn't been as punishing since. But yeah, if you do get too close, then yeah, you definitely don't want to do it too often. Oh, car potentially wide there, so kick up of just there by Gabor, so who that might have been, I'm not sure. It just looked like someone was off course.
Oh, Michael Malik has had a disaster. Very, very slow out of the infield for some reason. A weird place to be slow. Very odd. But he's back up to full racing speed now, but does have Jari Kitila chasing him down.
Michael's mistake there, he dropped a wheel on the outside of the track before the oval. The car escaped any real damage, so that's a bit of consolation to him. He doesn't have to keep a sickly car going. But Sufor now in the pits again, so it's a two-stop strategy. Get Borna out of it by any means. This is huge.
This is huge, and if he changes tyres, he's just handed the lead straight back to
those tyres at the front are terrible.
Oh, well.
Have to go.
Disastrous strategy in the end then for Sufor,
Yeah,
and here comes Gabba to take back the lead, and you've got to be certain now that unless something terrible happens to Gabba, this is his to lose now. Sufor back underway with, whoa, not the best day out for him in the end so far.
Trespasser second position.
Yeah.
But Trespasser didn't change tires either, so he's under the same risk. So it seems
over
like
Manny wide, just in front of Trespasser there. That will affect Sufor too, but he realizes in time, gets through. But yeah, that's huge. So Gabor, he's living at large. The championship bid is back on track after a time off, so everyone has to flinch and just think how we're going to stop this guy. I don't know.
It seems like Gabor was the wiser one today, changing the tires as planned on his only stop.
Yeah, it's a shame. We've been the grandstand finish has been stolen from us, but Sufor realising when he's been defeated, coming into the pits, changing those tyres, and well, now they're basically on even machinery again. The gap is, well, it's a different car ahead of him, and it's P2 at best today, realistically. But can Trespasser now keep his car on all fours till the end?
Yeah, and if he can, there's only 3.5 seconds between him and Sufor, so I believe Sufor can just catch up this lead and go past Trespasser, no matter what. So it should be P2 for Sufor unless something very weird happens.
If you're just joining us, welcome. This is round 9 of the Rony's Tuesday Fun Race Extra Large Championship in Live for Speed, the 105th ever in this long-running championship. Races every month in Live for Speed S3. No need to sign up, just turn up.
That's Samet wide at that corner, the very end of that corner. He was off circuit, and that allows Tamuli by for free. And those tyres on the left-hand side are very hot. They're in the luminous green stage, so I don't think he'd be braking safely for very more corners. That was a good job in fairness, but Pride and Steve Martin are both on the scene, and they're going to pick up this very precarious vehicle for a battle after themselves, of course. They have to go head-to-head themselves, and then the winner will take Samet's position, most likely.
Well spotted, Owen, and I'm loving the tyre predicament that Steve Martin finds himself in. He's got cooling, thin rear tyres and front tyres which are just coming into heat peak. So he's having an interesting drive, is Steve.
Yeah, that must be a handful to drive.
It can't have been deliberate, surely. I mean, this is an unusual strategy. Yeah, it's a time-saving one, but ultimately, how much time do you lose trying to wrestle the car around the remaining half of the race? We'll see how he gets on. He's going to have a slipstream here in Pride.
He's a bit far away though. I'm not sure if he can make it past before the goal to chicane. If he doesn't, he's going to be very close and there's going to be some dirt here, so let's hope Steven is prepared for that.
Yeah, it wasn't close enough. That's interesting. Potentially different wings on that car compared to his competitor. Yeah, and Cried has actually opened up the gap quite considerably after the oval section. So.
Oh, Samet's retired.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
After such strong pace early on, we are down to 17 drivers as Samet retires. I suppose we've lost more than 10 drivers in this race so far. A huge attrition rate for an extra large event. But that just shows you the challenge of the combination. It's a difficult one. There's so many variables and a huge track, which many of the drivers may not have driven this configuration before today, of course. They'll have driven all the corners in various other races, of course, many times, but this is one of the first times I think we've ever used this track. It's certainly the first time we've ever broadcasted it, with the banked crossing configuration, the bridge that connects the outfield of GP Long to the infield of Kyoto National. But yeah, Gabba now looking very happy out front as he comes along the oval, and a few more corners before he makes it 6 laps to go.
Oh, that's close. I know the camera angle on their stream didn't show it, but on my LFS client, he was really close on the right hand side to hitting the hay bales. And that goes to show you when Gabor is just in the mood. He could win by a minute and he'd still be pushing extremely hard. And that would put everything in jeopardy, but yeah, that's just the quality of the man. He's just so good at times.
Let's enjoy an onboard with Gabba. We'll jump in if there's anything to talk about. While we were quiet, the drivers decided to come into the pit lane. Trespasser and Sobis deciding that the tyres weren't going to make it, and a 2-stop was the order of the day. Eoin, that's thrown quite a few of the drivers into different strategy.
Correct, Pete. Yeah, the 2-stopper. It looked tempting on paper. We don't see it very often, but unfortunately, just this kind of pit lane where it is extremely slow, it is really hard to pull off. But I'm just going to interrupt for a sec because Mad Jester, he has a left front puncture, but because he had a stop-go penalty, he couldn't change it, so he has to do a whole lap without his front left. I don't know how he's going to do this. So this is 4 minutes at least. He's going to lose 60 seconds
he needs
on
to slow
pace
down
alone. Yeah, he's really pushing his luck there, going full speed. He's in the gravel, and he has a fast car coming. I can't tell who it is just yet. It's Rony. It's Rony. So Rony will have the headlights flashing, I'm sure. But Manchester can't even disobey the blue flags if he wanted to.
Yeah, we lose Sufor. He's gone.
Oh, Sufor's gone.
gosh,
Sufor's
no
retired.
way. Now that changes out for Ricardo. If this
Wow.
cavalier strategy of not changing the tyres works, he'll get a P2 and
my goodness.
reduce the damage in the championship. Wow, what a turnaround.
Sufor made some mistake and just decided to go with our.
We'll get
What's
Chris
up
to
with
check.
this?
We haven't seen what's happened as we continue to watch Mad Jester circulating, but yeah, Sufor gone. Get Chris to check why. It was a clean disconnect. He's just gone. He must have had an incident. Surely, no reason to give the race up like that.
At least get the points on the board. I know he'll still get something for making a good chunk of the race, the 80% distance, but yeah, at least just take the points, and you've done so well. That'll be my opinion anyway, as a driver with very limited accolades as a solo driver, but in a team, yeah, I know it's a different matter entirely, but as a team, yeah, I know that's where you can't quit no matter what, unless it's unsalvageable, but when you're on your own, yeah, it can feel so deflating when you make a mistake, and that's it. But I would have carried on if possible.
Chris telling us that Sufor lost it on the outside of Sufor lost it on the outside of Parabolica, so on the infield. Didn't get any damage, but it must have just been one incident too much, and the straw that broke the camel's back, and he's left the race, unfortunately, as we still watch Mad Jester trundling around. That front left is completely deflated, but you can tell the car is so rigid and stiff that it can do fairly okay laps with just 3 tyres inflated. But he needs to be careful not to pop that front right. It's looking terrible.
Yeah, several drivers can report in the past of losing both the tyres that provide the drivetrain. So in the past it would have been the 2 rears in most cars, but definitely the 2 fronts. If you lose both of them, and you've absolutely no hope unless you really slow it down. So yeah, just one more corner to slow down for here, Mad Jester, and you'll be okay. You can get your proper service this time. But 3 minutes of 15 seconds plus of just mental agony, I have to say.
Now that Sufor has
careful.
gone, it has promoted Johnny SVK onto the podium, which is quite remarkable, as Pete was saying before, that he's done a very solid job tonight, and that is coming like very true, having P3 at the moment. He's been very careful on his tires. He didn't change them, as didn't Ricardo on P2, but they seem both being confident and should be able to take these tires until the end of the race. So we're looking at the very different podium that we were looking quite a while back in the race.
That's true. I mean, Johnny SVK has managed those tyres to perfection. I think he's definitely got enough rubber left to take it to the end. Just 4 laps to go, including this one. And not including this one. 5 laps to go, including this one. But yeah, probably plenty enough to see him to the end. Just depends how Trespasser is managing behind, because he is only just behind. Gap's 2.4 seconds.
Very close indeed. And Trespasser is one of the faster drivers, so they could still be fight. But Johnny SVK also doing some good work of defending on the early stages of race, so anything is possible.
Start finish, the gap down to 2.32, so not huge gains for Trespasser on Johnny SVK. Johnny SVK holding his own in the Prototype 2 at this stage of the evening, doing a grand job.
Yeah, very grand job, no doubt about it.
Got a big incident here. Cried going for a tumble, just a lapse in concentration, drifted out too far, dropped a wheel on the grass,
wait
and
your
that's
turn.
caused him to spin out. Yeah.
Yeah, Rony's through. Rony gets P8 now.
Well, it shows that this race has taken a few people by surprise. The level of concentration required for it is a bit more, let's say, than a normal round of RTFR Excel. But it's certainly shaping up to be quite the challenge for the guys out there. But yes, there is, of course, more opportunity coming up in Live for Speed for drivers to enjoy the Prototype 2 with the announcement that the LFS Endurance Series is back for another championship that will span 2025 and 2026. More information on that can be found on the LFS France portion of the LFS forum. Some great looking races in that series. The prologue at Blackwood is on September the 19th, and watch this space for news on our end on that championship and potential coverage thereof. But yeah, the main championship is 6 rounds on the 25th of October at Rockingham for the 2 hours of Rockingham, all the way to round 6 at Kyoto for the 3 hours of Kyoto on the 27th of June 2026. But it looks like quite a nice championship, that.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I'm really excited to see how they get on after a successful opening season, and yeah, the temptation. I hope that, oh dear, my gesture off now. But yeah, the popularity of the series, it looked like it could have been absolutely epic from the first showing, but yeah, it kind of had its moments where it was a little bit low for the prototypes at times, where there were about 5 or 6 prototypes that could compete, and then the rest of us in GT3s had to get the rest of the opportunities. But yeah, definitely the highlight of the season wasn't on broadcast, I'm afraid. Stephen Martin dominated at Long Beach en route to what was our team's championship. So yeah, we were both champions, and I'm so proud.
Yeah, it was good. It was good last season. The 4 hours, sorry, the 4 hours of Anna for Anna that we covered as part of that championship was a good one. I hope to bring you some coverage of that championship this year as well, because we miss endurance racing. Of course, the Prototype 2 will be joined by a whole host of GT3 cars for pure multi-class racing in LFS at some iconic tracks, as I've said, in the sim. So join us for that and check it out on the Live Speed forum. Sign-ups are open for that championship right now. Back to tonight's action. We are closing this one up. 3 to go, including this one. Gabba on the infield of Kyoto National at the moment. And just trying to hold on to a 34-second lead that he has developed after Sufor, who led for just under the first half of the race. Did not change tyres at his first stop. Decided too late in the race that he would need a second stop to replace those tyres. Dropped back behind Gabba, had an incident next to the infield, and retired from the race, which has shaken things up a bit. And Johnny SVK Miika is holding his own, but that gap to Trespasser is coming down. It's 1.75. The gap has halved since we last saw.
Yeah, it's definitely getting close. Trespasser having slightly more pace than Johnny SVK. But I'm still confident on Johnny. He did so good job defending in the early race. So I don't doubt that he can give up the podium. Trespasser though, he's coming close, and he surely wants that P3. So don't count him out.
Yeah, there's nothing between them as they come onto the oval, and the laps are running out. We may have a change yet for the podium in this race. The win looks fairly secure, but Gabba has done things to surprise us in the past, and obviously there are back markers in play. Although this is a more than a 10-kilometre lap, he's not going to see too many people on his way to finish. Having said that, he has got Jari Katila up ahead of him. But Yari's been about the block. He'll know how to obey those blue flags.
Yeah, that he will. He'll be probably hoping to reach that corner, because even that under reduced speed, it's actually more dangerous, I think, to slow down there for blue flags. So you want to reach that corner safely, and then he can think about moving over for the race leader on this penultimate lap that he's driving on. Yeah, so now should be a good time, I think, just to prepare himself to move over.
Yeah, Trespasser is pushing like crazy. The gap down to 1.5 seconds. You can see more and more of Johnny SVK now, but you can also see that the lap counter has gone down by a lap. He's now only got 2 laps to close up and overtake. And, well, we have seen plenty of times tonight the aero drop effect off the back of the Prototype 2. It won't be that straightforward, given that the pace difference is not enormous between these 2 drivers at the moment. One thing to catch, another to pass.
The last lap, Trespasser was only 17 seconds faster than Johnny SVK, so at his rate he's not really getting close enough to get past, unless Johnny makes a mistake, of course, which we have to closely follow. See Johnny SVK right there. He's getting so close. This is the stage where, as a driver, you feel like, okay, I got this. I can go for the overtake. But you still have to stay so patient and wait until you're like actually close enough. He's still just a bit too far. So you start thinking about adjusting your driving to his lines. But if you make too many movements by this stage, then you're just gonna lose time and never gonna catch him up.
Yeah, super wide through Parabolica. The car just didn't want to slow down. There was no grip to get him back to the apex on the exit, and well, he drove the wet line around there, in fact, for absolutely no reason. But yeah, the gap down to less than a second as we hit the oval, and this is crucial because there's not going to be a slipstream opportunity for him. In fact, it was quite a laboured exit there. And Johnny SVK will hold on for one more lap. Let's see if he can do it. This is going to be close. Ricciardo is in, let's say, no man's land. He's got a 25-second gap behind, 20-second gap behind, and a 40-second gap at the front as we turn to Jari Katila, who Jonathan Palmer in my ear has told me has a flat tyre.
Yeah,
Matt Jester's on the scene. Sorry, Miika. Just Matt Jester has been through that misery. Is on the scene first.
Yeah, so it's very start of the lap as well. So he has to go all the way through the lap. And Manchester, he knows how that feels. He did that already. Oh, and here he goes right there. Let's hope he can get out of the gravel.
Yeah, Manchester did not know. He did not know that Jari was struggling with the puncture there and was taken a little bit by surprise. He has apologised in the chat, but he didn't actually make contact, I don't think. But yeah, that could have been close.
Trespasser at the start-finish line, he was just under a second away from Johnny SVK. He had a slight oversteer in turn 1. So the gap is around the single. Oh, another oversteer, and that's gone for Trespasser. He was too eager on the gas pedal and he ended up spinning. Now, is he under tread? No, he's not under tread. Emily is very far away.
He's miles away, yeah. P4 is safe, but yeah, we are denied once again the battle for the podium, and Johnny SVK can breathe a sigh of relief. Again, did not crack under the pressure so far. Very nice to see. As Gabba is wrapping up the lap here, ladies and gentlemen. Just a few corners to go before we will see him cross the start-finish. And we have had a long race tonight. These races have been, you know, typically very, very action-packed, and the start of this race was absolutely chock-a-block, but the cars have sort of evened themselves out, probably owing to the length of the track, in fact. But take him to the flag. He has been remarkable tonight.
Yeah, there's just very, very little you can say more about Gabor now. He really does continue to rise to the occasion and make everybody sit in wonder. He's through turns 30 and 31. 32 is a formality in this car. He can have a little wiggle and enjoy this masterful strategy. The tire change was the right call. Gabor is the winner once again, and he's one step closer to the 2025 Ronnie's Tuesday Fundraise Extra Large Trophy and prize money at the end of the year.
And that's a solid
congrats to
win,
him.
so we have to wait for second place for quite a bit. Ricardo, he's only at the boot chicane and he still has the last few corners to go. So that's a very huge gap between P1 and P2. That's a good job by Gabor.
Yeah, bit of a wait, but through the final chicane comes Ricardo to pick up what will be a 1-2 for the Sidus team. Gabba using his Yes Motorsports livery tonight, but Sidus are his true colours as he comes across start finished as Ricardo to pick up P2, 42 seconds the gap. That's incredible. And well, what can we say about this guy? Doesn't happen very often, but Johnny SVK out of nowhere is going to take a podium, and look how happy it makes him. That's what we like.
Yeah, brilliant stuff.
And he kind of flew a bit under the radar, like we followed him in the early race defending a lot, but then again he just kept doing his solid performance and he just stayed there and claimed that P3 that others weren't able to.
Yeah, a number of the drivers in the server are slightly confused about Sufor and where he went, because yeah, he was showing great pace. Obviously, led half the race, and then the incidents just came, and the bad strategy call is essentially was his undoing. If he'd have changed tires at the pit stop, who knows what we would have had? He didn't pit too much earlier than Gabba, and yeah, we were denied there really a potential, historical race in the end. That would have been incredible. But yeah, in the end, Gabba dominated tonight as we let the rest of the drivers finish. Wondering if he has made his way to victory lane. Yes, he has. There he is on the podium, around the back of the circuit. As we see Rony come across start finish, who take 8th place on this occasion. We've got Michael Malik stopped on the infield with a puncture. Does he have fuel? Oh, he's finished. He's finished already. He has cross start finish, but yeah, he's out now. And Crash will be the final car. He is coming around the final chicane now. Magic just crossing the line. We will do a full rundown of the results of this race and bring tonight's action to a close. Here comes Crash now. But yeah, what a way to finish for Gabba. That was dominating. And let's do the results now. So, what about that? Gabba in 1 hour, 18 minutes and 7 seconds wins over Rick Cardle and Johnny SVK, taking with it the fastest server lap, the fastest lap of the race, of qualifying, of all the practice that has been done in the month leading up to this event during the race, which is outstanding. 2-minute 56.45, the best time on display today at Kyoto Ring Banked Crossing, my mistake. So yeah, Johnny SVK putting in a star performance there to finish on the podium. Doesn't happen very often, but he did it today. What a great result that, Eoin.
100%, yeah. Johnny comes along week after week, month after month, and sometimes it can feel like it rarely goes his way. But today he's really excelled and took the opportunities that came to him, and he drove extremely well when he had the opportunity with the chaos at the beginning and even in the middle and a little bit at the end as well. So yeah, full credit to Johnny SVK. He put in one of his finest performances, and he's been given an extra reward for his effort. The podium position, P3, as fine an effort performance as you can really ask for. So I know Gabor and Rick are veterans of the stage. They're just so experienced and extremely smart and quick. So yeah, to finish third in this quality field, that is wonderful.
Yeah, both former champions, and Johnny SVK, a newcomer to the podium there. Brilliant stuff. Yes Motorsports Trespasser best of the rest with Zafralis Thamuli in P5. Yes Motorsports Karos Motiotis Sobis there in P6 with Stephen Martin, Rony Krompush, Kride, and Zenek Sagash Kid in P10. Then we got Michael Malik, Yari Katilla, Magic Crash, Majesta, Hermani, Sufor there, the first DNF down in P17, classified down there. Then Samet, Gabri, and Victolo also not finishing the race. And over on the second page, we've got Matti, Rayman, Ruby, Twin Cam, Hosep, TJ, and Lorenzo, who are names you would definitely expect to be in the race at the end, and they just weren't. They lost out very early on in what turned out to be quite a challenging combination for the drivers on this Tuesday evening. Yeah, what is there to say about that? It was a crazy first couple of laps in this race.
Yeah, indeed. We had a lot of action during the first laps. Of course, then it calmed down a bit, as they tend to do on these axle races. But of course, there was this strategy playing out. It kept us on our toes a little bit. And yeah, ended up people having to do unplanned second stops, which really didn't help them too much. But then again, some of those who were wiser to change tires on the first stop, they benefited. So that's a nice flavor of the racing.
Indeed. Well, thanks to you two again for joining the commentary box for commentary on the 105th ever RTFR XL. And here is the calendar for the rest of the year. We are back in a month's time for round number 10 of the championship, followed by obviously the rounds in November and December to wrap up the year. If you'd like to be part of this championship, you can join, of course, at 6 o'clock UTC for the qualifying session, and we will be happy to have you on the grid. Up to 40 slots available for the start of the race. A combination to be decided by our race winner. Gabba will pick the combination, I believe, for the next one, and we will let you know what that is in due course. Lots to come up on the channel over the next few weeks, and of course we are excited to announce the coverage of the Race Green Events Retro Cup. We've got a trailer for you now.
Introducing the road class, Porsche Camera and Piran Firefly 200. These two cars are evenly matched and will bring some of the most spectacular action in the Retro Cup. These two cars have very different strength. For example, the Porsche is much faster in the straights, while the Piran Firefly is a lightweight car capable of going full attack in the corners and make for a great spectacle. Introducing the Group 5. These GT cars are absolute beasts, capable of reaching speeds up to 300 kph. The Fendt Mustang Pro and the Porsche will bring the heat on the Retro Cup calendar. These cars have different strengths. For example, the Porsche is an absolute monster on the straights, while the Mustang Pro is a much more balanced car. These two cars are evenly matched and will bring the heat on the Retro Cup. Introducing the Prototype 2. Based on the mid-70s sports prototypes, the Wessex R74 is a fan favorite of the Retro Cup. Introduced in the Season 1 of the series, this car is fast and very well balanced, and can even challenge the top class in some of the twister tracks. You have to expect close battle and wheel-to-wheel action in all the rounds of the series. Welcome to the Prototype 1. This is the top class, the fastest cars of the Retro Cup. McElroy and Ferenzi. Two extremely fast and dangerous prototypes, capable of reaching speeds up to 350 km per hour. You'll have to show respect to these cars, or you could find yourself flying around the racetrack. The McElroy is the most powerful car in the series, but the Ferenzi have better drivability. These cars will bring the drivers to their absolute limit and will bring some of the most spectacular action you'll ever see on Leap for Speed. Are you ready for the challenge, Retro drivers?
Well, there you have it, the car presentation for the upcoming Retro Cup Championship. So if you like the look of that, then you can join the first round that is happening on the 15th of September. That was a week yesterday, so please do sign up for that. This has been round 9 of the RTFR XL Championship in Live for Speed at Kyoto Ring Banktober. We hope you enjoyed it with the Prototype 2, and don't forget you can join more Prototype 2 action in the LFS Endurance Championship, which is starting soon as well. More information in the LFS France portion of the LFS forum. Thursday this week, it's Fragmasters GTI Thursday returning for round 37, and it's a special one. It's the 8th anniversary special of that championship, so please do join us for coverage of that. But Eoin, Miika, tonight was fantastic. Gabba absolutely smashed it. There was drama. It was a low sort of not too much action in the second half, but the first half was where it was at. That was action packed.
Was for absolute certain. We rarely seem to have that kind of madness across the entire grid. Like, there will be incidents in the midfield where it is the most dangerous, but definitely high quality drivers were in trouble. Even on the getaway there, it was definitely the launch there. I think it was Sufo, one of them. He got a brilliant start and he already got hit in the beginning, so that caused a big knock-on effect for everybody, and even more big names made individual errors as well, so that caused another bit of shock and awe. So definitely a unique competition this season with tonight's race, but it's definitely one to keep in your memory banks.
Indeed. Well, thanks again for joining me in the commentary box. I'll see you two in a month's time for the next one. But from all of us here at Sim Broadcasts, have a great evening, and we'll see you all on Thursday for GTI Thursday. Dee and Dave Fraser in the commentary box for that one. That'll be Fern Bay Gold in the GTI class, but of course the 8th anniversary special, a big one for them to celebrate. Thanks everybody, and we'll leave you with the trailers as we leave. So from all of us here at Sim Broadcast, have a great night. See you on the next one. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Pilote, démarrez vos moteurs.